Please think carefully before you choose whatever business model you want to do. If you're watching this, I know you're someone who probably wants to make money. And before I get into it, no, I'm not selling a course. I'm not doing any of that. I want to say this because it's been frustrating me, right? I've been thinking about this for a while. I see my friends who are in entrepreneurship or starting business. They're all over the place and they don't know what to focus on. So I'm going to tell you everything that you shouldn't do and things you should know about business before you really get into it and go full all in. What's up, guys? My name is Devin Sinath. I'm an entrepreneur who's scaling to $100,000 a month, and I'm trying to just help as many people as I can and build an audience while doing it. Anyways, let's just get straight into it. When you are starting a business or starting to make money, it's okay to get a job to get capital. That is okay. Because if we're trying to feed, something that's going to make us money, sometimes we actually have to have some capital first. This is something a lot of people know, but just don't demonize getting a job. If you need to get a job to get capital, do it. That's the first thing I'm going to say. It doesn't matter if it's mowing lawns, pressure washing someone's house, going working at McDonald's. I don't care what it is. You need some money to start. Buying a domain, buying a product, anything like that, getting a software started, you need some money, even the smallest amount. You work there for 2 weeks, make, 600, $700, and then you can quit because you just need some money to start. First thing. The second thing is understanding what business models are just not going to be a good investment for you. So a lot of people see, like YouTube Shorts automation, and they think that, okay, I'm going to do YouTube automation and then I'm going to make a lot of money. And this is true. I have some friends who are making $20,000 a month on YouTube automation, but it's not every month. It's like once every couple of months, maybe once in their entire life they've hit 20,000 months. Usually it's going to range anywhere from 2K to 20K. And this sounds like crazy that you're going from 2K to 20K range for YouTube automation, but 20K is going to be around 500 million views. 2K is going to be around 50 million views. So I want you guys to understand how much you need to get in order to actually make this type of money for YouTube automation, right? Because 50 million views actually isn't as much as you think as long as you find the right niche. And as we're going to get into that in a second about how to find those right niches. But you need to understand that when you're making money off YouTube, it's not going to be as much as you think. And 20,000 may sound like a lot. That's for 500. That's for half a billion views. Do you know how difficult that is? I mean, I can show you guys some analytics, but he asked me not to. I will blur everything out, and I'm also going to blur the money out as well. But I'm just going to show you how many views he has so you can kind of just get an understanding of what I'm saying here. Now, let me be clear. This is my friend. This is not me, all right? I did not do this. This is my friend. He gets all the credit for this. But you can see he got 500 million views. And I'm going to blur out the revenue, but I'm telling you, it's not as much as you would think you would get from this. It's still a lot of money, but it's not as much as you think. But I'm here to tell you that this is information that I have that I'm sharing. I'm not going to gatekeep this stuff. Of course, I'm not going to leak his channel because he asked me not to. Secondly, if you guys are going to sell any type of product, it doesn't matter if you're selling popcorn, doing lawn care, you're drop shipping, digital marketing, whatever it is, you guys need to make sure you understand the skill of getting views, right? And understand that if you don't have this crucial skill, you are just royally screwed. Because in order to actually make real money in today's day and age, you need to have the skill of organic content. Unless you have tons of capital to spend and play around with paid ads, I'm assuming you don't, which is why you need to learn the skill. Because understanding how to get organic views and turning that into conversions and sales is a free skill that takes time, which is why I recommend starting off with YouTube, which is why we started off with YouTube first, learning how to get views, and then going from views to selling products. Maybe you could do something like drop shipping, you can do something like digital marketing, whatever it is. The point is you need to understand the skill of making a good video and getting lots of views. And also, now that we mention it, in order to get lots of views, you need to have the skill of just making good videos. I like breaking things down step by step to understanding exactly what I need to understand and learn to order to, get to my goal. And when you break it down far enough, it's just making a good video. If you can make a good video, you can get views. If you get views, you can get leads. If you get leads, then you can get sales. It's just step-by-step process of understanding what you need to do to actually make the money. So, when you're trying to sell something, you need to get leads, and lead gen is very important. Now, there's actually 4 types of leads that you need to know before you start marketing and stuff. You need to understand the 4 different types of leads. So, of course, there's the organic side. We're just going to call this organic. There is the paid side, which would be something like Facebook ads, Meta ads, TikTok ads, Google ads. These are paid conversions. There's going to be referrals, which you can argue is organic, but it's kind of going to be more from people rather than from, I guess, social media platforms. And then the last one, the last lead that you can get is walk-ins. And this is occasional. For example, someone just looking up and they're finding you on accident. Maybe they're walking into a store and they're buying something from you. Remember, business is not just online, it's also physical as well. Of course, walk-ins really isn't as important as the paid referrals and organic. So let's just focus on these three for now. And we can talk about walk-ins in another video because it's not as important as these three. Now that we understand what we need to do, the 3 or 4 different types of traffic in order to get leads and then getting leads to sales, what business model would you like to choose? Now, personally, I think dropshipping is a good place to start. And the reason why is because it lets you practice your views, it lets you, start for a very low cost, and also lets you learn the skill like building a website, finding a product, supplying that product, actually marketing that product. Those 4 pillars are very, very important, but you need to understand the 4 pillars of actually finding a good product first when you're starting dropshipping. So these are the 4 pillars of finding a killer winning product. And honestly, if this video is all over the place and I'm just dropping sauce everywhere, that's what it's supposed to be. I don't plan these things. I just make the videos because I just like teaching people. I don't know. So there's 4 different pillars in order to actually understand what makes a winning product. The first thing is it needs to be something that has very high profit margins. You want something anywhere from at least 50 to 75% at the bare minimum. I mean, 30 you can do that if you're doing paid, but 50 to 75% for organic. The second thing is it needs to be something that has a virality factor. If you can't go viral with it, then there's just no point, because if no one cares to watch it, how are you plan to get sales? Because what do we say? In order to get these organic sales, we need to get organic views first. This is for starting, by the way. If you had lots of money, this would be a little different, but we're talking about organic dropshipping. The third thing is it needs to be repeatable, especially the content. If you're making something, you need to make sure that the content is able to consistently be made over and over again, maybe alterations in the change of content, but it needs to be able to consistently get views over and over and over again. And the last thing, which I would argue is the most important, is there needs to be an open market. Because if there's no open market, then there's no point in you actually making this, because someone's already selling it and it's kind of hard to beat someone who's already selling it. You can argue for crumbs and say like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to get one sale, but that's just BS waste of time. If you're going to do something, focus on becoming the #1 best person in your niche. And it's easier to do that when there's an open market. And one more thing for open market, you can have a saturated niche, something that's already getting lots of views, already getting lots of sales for one competitor. But if you just change their marketing angle, you can create your own marketing angle. For example, I have this one dropshipping store I ran called Tiny Truck. You can see it's tinytruck.shop. I made around 20,000 in 1 month from this product. And you can see the Instagram I have right here. And, we got 17 million views, 11 million views. The views kind of dropped down because the product has died down a lot, but you can see also we have 972 posts. The point is, this is actually just an RC truck. This product, it's not really anything new. It's just an RC truck that we marketed as a couples product. I don't know, I'm saying we, just me, marketed as a couples product, and then, outsourced it to people who are, in relationships instead of people who are car guys. And the point is, you can use these type of, ideas to find open markets by, instead of selling, for example, to car guys, you can market an RC truck towards couples by just delivering gifts. And that's just one thing. Also, going further down, couples is a great customers to sell to, because if a couple's buying for one person, they may buy for another as well, so you may get 2x the order value. And then also on top of that, since you're getting 2x the order value, couples also have more emotional power when buying, because if they have the idea of, oh, I'm going to buy this for my girlfriend or boyfriend, it's going to make them happy, they're just more likely to buy because of that. Anyways, I think I covered a lot in this very, very short video. I packed a lot of information. Watch it again if you need to catch something, rewind if you didn't get it. I would say if you're going to just take anything away from this, I would say this is the most important thing: understanding the product, structure for finding a winning product, and then understanding this structure here of what makes, sales. I would say really this is like #1 importance, and this is #2. So just try to keep that in mind. I'm going to link this Miro inside the description because Sometimes you guys like watching it. I also have a Discord server, but mainly I have an Instagram account. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, shoot me a message. Maybe you want to work with me one on one and we can get something started. Just message me on Instagram. I don't know. You can message me grow or something. I don't know. Whatever you want. But if you're interested in working with me, just shoot me a message and we can get started. Anyways, my name is Devin Senath. I do a lot of e-commerce, social media growing, um, money making. So if you need anything, please just shoot me a message. Anyways, have a good rest of your day. I love you. Bye.